You open your phone and check your messages. 3 days ago, the last text he sent is still sitting there. Then a message from you, and another one. All from you, all unanswered. He didn't block you. His profile is still there. He sees you, but he won't write back. And right now, you're stuck between two feelings. One side of you is saying, so it's over. The other side is saying, but if it was over, he would have blocked me. Why did he leave me hanging? That in-between place means a lot more than you think. Because when a man cuts off the messages without actually ending things, that isn't indifference. It's something completely different. And what you're about to hear in this video will redefine everything you've been feeling while staring at that empty inbox. Right now, you're probably replaying your last conversation in your head over and over. What did I say? Did I do something wrong? Did I miss a word? Most of the time, nothing actually happened. The conversation ended normally. Maybe it was even warm. Then a day passes, 2 days, 3, and there's nothing on your screen. And that emptiness starts a quiet war inside you, because the brain processes uncertainty far worse than direct rejection. Scientifically, looking at a door left cracked open is more stressful than looking at one that's fully shut. You're standing in front of that cracked open door right now. You can't go in, and you can't turn around. And he chose to leave you exactly there. Here's the critical piece you have to understand. If a man truly wanted to end things, he would have had a real breakup conversation. Or he would have blocked you. He didn't do either. Instead, he left you stuck in the uncertainty. And this is where psychology calls it avoidant attachment. A man with avoidant attachment develops an internal alarm system as he gets closer to a woman. That alarm screams, "This relationship is too intense. You're losing control. Pull back." But an avoidant man also can't fully shut the door, because shutting the door is its own decision, its own commitment. Even that's too much for him. So not texting you is way easier for him than actually breaking up. Now I'm going to tell you the harder part. The emptiness you're living in is actually a relief zone for him, because for those 3 days, he doesn't feel responsible for you. If he texted, he'd have to answer. Answering would mean sharing emotions. And to him, sharing emotions is dangerous. So he chose to do nothing. Doing nothing is also a choice. But that choice doesn't mean I don't want you. What it actually means is I can't get my own self together right now. I can't even tell you what I'm feeling. So I'm saying nothing. And you're reading this as he doesn't care. But the truth is the exact opposite. If he didn't care, he wouldn't even feel distance toward your last message. If you weren't in his life, you wouldn't take up this much space in his head. So why is it hurting you this much? Because the human brain reads uncertainty as a threat. Every second you see those 2 check marks but no reply, your body releases a small wave of cortisol. And that comes back to you as panic, anxiety, and obsessive thoughts. Picking up your phone 50 times. Waking up at 3 a.m. to check the screen. Reading articles about him even when he's not there. That's why. This doesn't make you weak. This makes you human. But you also need to know this. While you're counting the minutes in panic, that man might be actively ignoring his phone, because every notification reminds him of that intense feeling, and he doesn't know what to do with that feeling. So he's not actually running from his phone, he's running from himself. And you became the symbol of that escape. Now we're getting to the most important point. This is where most women make the biggest mistake. You're probably thinking right now, maybe I should send one more message? Maybe I should post a story so he sees it. Maybe I should mention something to a mutual friend so it gets back to him. Please stop. Because trying to communicate with an avoidant man is like trying to corner a scared cat. The closer you get, the further he runs. Every extra message you send reinforces his "I was right, this is too much" feeling. So while you're trying to win him back through messages, you're actually pushing him into a deeper escape. And after this point, no matter how many messages you send, you only lower your own value. Here's a really subtle truth you need to grasp. An avoidant man can only close his own distance himself. Meaning, no matter how hard a woman tries, she cannot pull an avoidant man back to her. Only when his internal alarm goes quiet can he come back on his own. Meanwhile, all you accomplish by chasing him is this. You spend your own energy, attention, and value on him. And worse, every time you send a message, your dopamine system gets a short burst of hope. When that hope isn't returned with a reply, you fall into a deeper crash. In psychology, this becomes a pattern called intermittent reinforcement, and this pattern can actually make you addicted. So, what are you going to do? The answer is simple, but hard to apply. You're going to do nothing. You won't reach out, you won't post a story, you won't ask mutual friends about him, because your silence is the only thing that resets that alarm in his head. The moment you stop reaching for him, his brain gets the signal, "This woman isn't chasing me, so it's safe." And that safe signal slowly puts out his avoidance alarm. That's the exact moment some men come back. But this return isn't the return you've been imagining. The man who comes back will never explain the conflict he was living through during those days he didn't text, because he can't explain it. Naming that conflict would mean accepting his own avoidant nature. And an avoidant man would rather leave you in uncertainty than accept that. Now we're getting to the critical question. If 3 days, 5 days, 10 days from now, you see a message from him on your screen, what are you going to do? Most women make a huge mistake at this point. That first message that comes in usually looks really innocent. Hey, how are you? You crossed my mind. Sorry I disappeared. And because you've been waiting for months, you reply right away. And the second you give that reply, the second round of the cycle begins. Because that man finds out you're still in the same place. He learns that even if he doesn't text, you'll come. He learns that if he leaves the door open, you'll wait. And that becomes a license of freedom for him. He'll disappear again. He'll come back again. He'll leave you in uncertainty again. Because you prove to him that this is safe to do. And here's one more thing you need to understand. A man who runs and comes back isn't the same man when he returns. He's actually learned something worse. Even if I don't text, she still waits. That information is gold to him, and a trap for you. He's now someone who knows how to keep you one step away. He can pull back a little anytime because he knows you'll call him back. And this cycle can keep you trapped in the same relationship for years. He attaches, he runs. You wait, he comes back, you forgive him. And every time, you shrink a little more. So how do you break this cycle? The answer is that you have to change, not wait for him to change. Because him not texting you wasn't about you. But you waiting for him to text is entirely about you. He projected his internal war onto you, and now you're trying to carry that war on your back. Drop it. Him not texting was like a sentence. That sentence was, I can't be present right now. And you have to respect that sentence. Respecting him doesn't mean accepting him. Respecting him means showing the same respect to yourself. You also have the right to say, I'm not going to live in someone else's uncertainty. And the day you use that right, your life changes. So when does change actually start? The exact moment you stop measuring your value through his silence. The moment you stop checking your phone 50 times a day. Because as long as your peace depends on what he does or doesn't do, you remain a participant in his game. And the game was never built for you to win. You were placed in it as the constant, the one who waits. But the day you remove yourself from that role, the game collapses. You don't have to leave dramatically. All you have to do is shift your center of gravity back to yourself, from his silence to your own voice. Because the woman who anchors herself in someone else's behavior always drowns. The woman who anchors herself in her own life walks out of this with everything intact. But right here, the hardest question is staring you down. If after all this silence, he actually does come back one day, there's a fatal mistake most women make. They accept him so fast, they don't even notice what the man coming back actually wants. Because a man who disappears and comes back isn't returning to you. He's after something much darker. I broke down what that cycle is, why most women fall into this trap, and how you can stay standing this time in a previous video. If he comes back one day, knowing what you'll be facing in advance is a matter of life and death for you. The video is on the screen. Tap it and find the answer there. Because the woman who waits never wins. The woman who knows always wins.